fun.
I know. Oh, we're clearly going wine tasting
We've got to
together.
do that. Big chewy calves.
So you have a dog.
I have a dog.
Do you mind if we ask you a little bit about your dog? Because
no
there might be a
problem.
whole dog segment. The only two kind of weird parts are the beginning and the end. You guys ready? Hey, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this morning you were on a panel with a few other CMOs offering some sage advice to the next generation of CMOs, and you said something incredibly beautiful. Can you remind us what that was?
Sure. I think it was one of our final closing thoughts and words to the group today, and my comment was, you belong. You're exactly where you belong, here, there, wherever. And sometimes, like I said, I need to hear that as much as I hope it helps someone else as well.
So tell me, like, not just when you're feeling low or low energy or need a little breath of fresh air, what do you do to take care of yourself?
So my favorite thing to do that I do as religiously as possible is yoga. I've been practicing about 10 years, and a good week, I get on my mat about 4 times in the week.
So tell me a little bit about your calendar. If you had to describe your calendar in one word, what would it be?
Insane. It's always insane. I'm actually, I've done a lot of work. Actually, I was a part of the transition lab. One of the most valuable days I've had probably in this role, and I'm so grateful for it. So one of the things I'm trying to do is actually get a better handle on my calendar and what it looks like. Most of my day is a mix of individual one-on-one meetings with either people on my team or partners. I have, as it's marketing, so I partner with everyone. Or larger forum meetings where I'm either with the leadership team or there's a group of people bringing to me something that requires a decision. One of the things that was so interesting about moving into this role, and one of the bigger changes, is how engaged I have to be the entire time. And I remember being a junior marketer and having to meet with my VP. You prep for days or weeks. Someone has reviewed your slides, you've looked over talking points, you're really prepared. And I know that. And so more often than not, I'm that person now.
I know, now you're them.
It's so crazy. It's like, wow, what's happened to the world here? And so for me, it matters that I owe them the engagement for the preparation that they've put into the time. And I enjoy it.
Now, do you have an assistant?
I do.
How do you leverage that resource to sort of help you manage time?
I'm learning to do that better, honestly. Most of our original interactions were like resolving calendar conflicts. I'm doing a lot better about inviting her into my thinking of when I need to be somewhere and when I don't. And to be honest, figuring out where I need to be and where my time is best spent is hard, because it always is longer of a list of places than I ever have time to be. And so selecting where I need to be is hard. So I let her into my thinking, when I meet with certain folks for more development conversations. I've set up office hours, and it's one of my ways of sort of dedicating a longer period of time. And interestingly, I set them up as like 20-minute meetings, and you can get a lot in 20 minutes. And there's some pleasantries, but it's really focused on that individual. So that clears a lot of calendar sort of one-on-ones that break up the day. One of the other things that I do with her, and we've been starting to be much more deliberate about, is when I do speaking engagements, either within my company or externally, really being thoughtful about where I am, when. I said yes to everything for the first 6 months, because I was so like, people want to hear from me. I haven't even done anything yet. And now I'm like, this is great, but it's exhausting, and it's not always the best use of time unless I'm able to be in an intimate environment like this one here, meet other CMOs, meet other marketers, hear about other challenges. That I get a lot out of, but it's definitely a struggle. I'm on, I would say in the grand scheme of learning journey, I'm like 3rd grade. I still have a long way to go at getting much better.
No, you sound pretty wise to me so far. I mean,
I'm trying.
So other than yoga, outside of work, what brings you joy?
Oh, my family. And wine. We'll talk about that another day. I live in the Bay Area. I've been married to my husband for 17 years. And so I have 2 kids. I have a 14-year-old. I have a freshman in high school. I will take all of the thoughts and good wishes. And I have a 10-year-old son. So Home with them is a lot of fun. It's a lot of to and froing to their various activities. I've just transitioned from being a dance mom to a cheer mom.
Oh, wow.
I'm not really sure what the difference is beyond the uniform, but we're moving into that new phase of things. We live in the Bay Area, which is really fortunate because I can get to Napa in 45 minutes. And so retirement for me is somewhere in the wine industry. I'm fascinated by it. I love just the complexity of the value chain. The product is amazing.
Amazing.
And so it's been really inspiring to be in the Bay Area.
So you're at a wine tasting. Sort of take me from, what is your favorite white and favorite red?
So I drink more reds than whites.
Okay.
Whites are perfect for this weather. It's hot. You want something cool and refreshing. My favorite white is Viognier.
I love
It's
that
like
too.
summer in a glass. It's known for its stone fruit qualities, peaches, apricots, and they're hard to find.
They
so when
are.
I find them, I'm like, give me. So I like a good Viognier. In lieu of that, a nice French rosé always hits the spots. That's sort of moving more toward
Yes.
red. I like big reds, so I like Cabernets. I live in Napa. I get lots of good California cabs, a good Zinfandel, good H&Weizen. So we have a lot of wine club memberships, and every time I go tasting, say I have 7 memberships or so, I go to my husband like, I've got 8 slots. So we've got to join. He was like, that's not even a real number. That doesn't make any sense. So I use it to justify, I say some people buy, they like to shop and they buy bags and shoes. I buy wine. I really like it.
My friends always, like, if we go over to their house for a dinner party. A lot of my girlfriends in particular love red wine, but like a California Pinot is probably about as robust they can get, but otherwise, like some folks get like headaches.
Yeah.
And they're like, Stacy, here's your chewy red. Because I'm always like, I just want like a chewy red. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, right?
You take a sip, you contemplate life.
Yeah,
It's
and they're just like
complex.
this kind of, there's like the mouthfeel of it, and it's just, anyway.
Yeah, I read this book on wine written by a journalist who went and pursued a sommelier. It's hilarious. It's called Cork Dork. And it's funny, and it's like, but you learn a lot about it. And when you think about like just all that goes into it, the earth, all of that, I'm like, oh, that'll stick with you.
That really will.
So.
That really will. Now, one question though, because there's been do you have a dog?
I do have a dog.
Tell me about your dog.
Her name is Sheba. She's a rescue pit lab mix. She's like beautiful, like black dog with a white tuxedo. She's our older lady in our home. So we rescued her about 7 years ago. She's about 13 now. So she's slowing down a little bit, but I think of her like she's kind of a cross between Rose and Dorothy from the Golden Girls. So she's kind of got a little attitude. She just is where she is, and you're just going to step around her like a Dorothy would be. And she forgets where her toys are all the time, like a Rose would do. And you're like, it's right there. Like, what are you doing? So, but she's really fun, and the first pet I've ever had. So,
really?
Yeah, I didn't grow up with pets. My husband wanted a dog. I fought that off for years until he left consulting, and he was like, "We're getting a dog." I was like, "Okay, fine." But no, she's really brought so much joy into our life, and at least I think has kept my son out of the worst of trouble. She quickly figured out he was the most dangerous person in the house.
So is she more of a minder, or
she's a minder?
Yeah.
So she'll just kind of follow you around. She likes her humans. She does not like any other animals. So we rescued her at a point where we knew she was poorly socialized to other dogs. So she's not much of a, I tell people, I'm like, you're welcome, but don't bring your pets here. She's not going to handle it very well, but loves her people. And she just kind of, when my son was 4 when we got her, and so she would just follow him around, and he would be climbing things because 4-year-old boys do that, and she would just look at him and just
keeping track of you.
You can hear her like, get down. I'm like, but yeah, so she's been fun to have around.
I have a 13-year-old girl too. She's much smaller, but she's slowing down, but thankfully not in a, it doesn't seem unhealthy way, just is like quieter. Yeah. And then she also like all of a sudden doesn't hear as well.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
So like all of a sudden she'll like forget, I think, that I'm home, and then she's like, oh, you're here. What a delight.
Yeah, we have to accompany any command with a clap because she can't hear as well. And so if you just call her name, she's like,
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I appreciate the invite.